Hello! Exciting! We are starting third year, so it's the day before we start classes, and I have gotten requests for a little bit more dental content, so we're going to try and do that this year. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. They don't really like us filming inside of the school and the labs and stuff, so we might have to get a little bit creative and try and keep a little bit of a dental vlog about what's happening this year. So I figured the first part could be a little bit about how we set up and prep for third year. So there's a couple things that we had to do at the end of second year. So I applied for a radiology license so that I can take x-rays. And you have to apply for that and send it into the government, and I ended up getting that back. So it's uploaded and I'm good to go. Second, we had to collect endo teeth. So endo is endodontics or root canals. And when you practice in the labs, you're doing it on real teeth. So you go to different dental clinics around your location and collect teeth. Oh, we're heading back from Logan. Brandon just drove me to pick up my teeth. They have you collect real teeth to practice on instead of plastic teeth. So it's a little bit more realistic. Real teeth have different numbers and shapes of canals, so you're practicing on something that's much more realistic to an actual person. So I dropped off teeth at 3 different places in Logan, which is just between Gold Coast and Brisbane. And did that at the end of November. Probably could have did it a lot sooner. Yeah, did it after classes were all done and all my exams were done. So picked them up end of January so that they can be sent off for gamma radiation by the school to prep them for our labs. Another thing we had to do, order some new equipment. So I'll be picking up some equipment for endodontics later this week. And I already have an articulator and stuff that I bought from a higher year, and some of the special drill bits we need for prosthodontics. Then courses are still opening up, which is crazy because there's like one more day to go. I don't understand why not all the courses are up yet, but I digress. So I've been going through and downloading all of the different lecture content so that I have all of the slides to take notes. Okay, so here's my school's Canvas page, and you can see that we got some of our classes. Not all of them are up yet, unfortunately, even though it's the day before classes start. And you can kind of see that if we go to all courses. Still waiting on a couple to be published. Anyway, so going back to the dashboard, if we click on one of these, so this is one of the classes. You can see that there's multiple components per class. So this one includes our clinic, our fixed and removable pros. So fixed is things like crowns and bridges, while removable prosthodontics is like dentures. Endodontics, so that's like root canals, and periodontology, which is the gums. So one of the things that I did first is I downloaded all of the different lecture content. So here's an example. If we click on this, they do have a video already recorded for us to watch, and there's the lecture in PDF form. So I downloaded all of those, and then I sort them and I rename them because, as you could see, that doesn't follow a naming convention, and I like when mine do. So I usually do the number of the course, the name of the course, and usually a shortened form, the trimester, the lecture, and then the name of the lecture. So this sorts it out for me. So it makes it a lot easier to find all of the different lectures when I go to actually watch them and do my notes. And then from here, I've been putting everything into my Notion and trying to get it all organized because I like to create a schedule and have it come up in my to-do list that I have created in Notion. Here's one of the pages of my Notion. So I create projects, and each one of my courses gets its own project. So if we remove fixed and removable pros, here we go. So if we look at this, this is all of the different lectures that we have. And then I give them a deadline, and then usually I give them a to-do date. So this is the day that I actually physically want to do them. For this course, I also have Try 2 stuff already written down, and I have the labs. Once I finish, I put them into the project workspace so that I can find the slides with my physical handwritten notes on them that I do on my tablet. So from here, from these action items, I'm just going to show a couple more classes because each one has its own set of action items. So those are things to do. And these action items go to my to-do list. So here's the page I live in, in my Notion. I have a database here that sorts by priority, due date, and task. And I filter based on unchecked and to do on or before today. So anything that has this date or before goes into this specific zone. And what's nice is this is my to do for today. So it can be for classes. I also have like my YouTube video list and personal tasks, anything that I want to do on this day. And it sorts here so I can see everything that I want to get done. And this little check mark box allows me to say when it's completed. And once I click this, that's it. It takes it off of my to-do list. Further down, you can see, you can do also by this week, so you can see that I have some other stuff, personal. Here's exams. So I have stuff sorted based on project database here. So I have the classes, but I can also have ones that are specific for exams. So this actually filters for exams. And then I can see everything that's coming up for marks. So once they give us date, then I usually put that for the deadline, and to do, I usually put a week or two in advance so that it reminds me that it's coming up. Further down, there's a calendar option. So yep, this is basically all I use Notion for at the moment. We go back to projects and into here. So this is an example of, so I finished all of the tasks, but here's the workspace. So I have all of my different lectures. So if I click on this, you can see this is a lecture that I finished and made Anki's for. But it goes in here and it has all of my extra handwritten notes on it. So it saves it in there. I also put any different materials that I found really helpful for studying in here as well. And I also put my Anki cards. So when my Ankis are all finished at the end of the semester, I package them up, put them in here. So if anything ever happens to my Ankis, I still have a backup in my Notion. And then lastly, here's my Anki. So here's all the different courses, and I usually do sort it based on each lecture. So here's a better example, I think, is if you click on one of these and go in here, we have the different lectures that were part of clinical medicine in second year in that course. So I still follow the same naming convention because it makes everything super easy, and I keep all my finished courses in here. Maybe eventually I'll take them out, but my plan is to kind of go through and save some of the stuff I think I need to revise more frequently that will be important for clinic in the future. Yeah, that's about it. That keeps me on track for the entire year, and I've already got a head start on some of my courses. So in third year, the first foundation week, we do a complete lecture series on local anesthetic, which is like freezing, so giving injections. And we have to pass a test by the end of next week. So we get a week to do the content and a week to study. Yeah, so I have to do a test at the end of week -3 before we can go into stab lab, and that's when we practice on each other. So yeah, it should be fun. And then we have a couple different lectures this week that are separate from the LA, and we have clinic. So we have basically a rundown on practice sessions for different things this week. And a pretty busy week, and I'm gonna try and film it. Third year is when we start getting into the nitty-gritty, the really specifics. So this is my wonderful desk. This is a poster that my friends got me. Got my computer. I don't know how people do anything without an iPad, because I like to write right onto the slides. And then I usually put everything in Anki to study. And then this is the newest addition to my study. So this is the Therapeutic Guidelines of Australia. So this is all of the different drugs and stuff that we have to know and study. And this is a nice little reference guide that is produced by the ADA. So I'm going to start going through it as well and start marking the really important stuff that I might want to reference. And when people ask, how do you do work, and especially when it's like a Sunday, I treat myself. So this is a Bundaberg creaming soda, which is like cream soda in North America. So it's like cherry flavored, and yeah, please don't blow up on me. And I'm creating a spider, or what we call in North America as a float. So if I'm gonna have to do some LA on a Sunday before classes even start, I'm gonna treat myself. So yeah, when people are like, please don't judge me for how I eat and my bad eating habits, well, when I study hygiene and I study preventative dentistry, sometimes I need a little bit of a kick of some sweet. So there's that, and then yeah, I'm gonna make a great dentist. So the last 2 years I've only had 2 pairs of scrubs, and going into third year we have more clinics and labs, so we're basically wearing scrubs every single day, which means it'd be crazy to do your laundry every couple days. So I bought a couple extra pair of scrubs, but because I'm short, I needed to tailor them, so take the length in the legs, I have really short legs. Also took in the sides of the scrub top, because our school only sells unisex ones, so they're really quite big. So they're not very flattering. So yeah, end up taking in the arms and the sides on the top, and taking up the legs and the massive waistband string that are around them, because for some reason it's like a meter long. So yeah, last year I finally caved and I bought this sewing machine. So just a cheap little one, but I use it to do some of my tailoring just right at home. So sewing, trying it on, seeing how it fits, taking it off, tweaking it, and so on. Luckily I already did this with the previous 2 scrubs, so I could kind of use them as a guide, so it wasn't quite as long this time. Another thing to prep for third year was sewing scrub caps. Once you hit third year, we get to go into the clinic, and if you don't have a scrub cap, they give you a disposable hairnet that you have to wear. And most people don't really enjoy those. So everybody wears scrub caps that keep their heads covered for infection control. I saw there's quite a few people wearing them last year, so at the beginning of the year, I gave my mom and my sister a fun task of keeping an eye out anytime they went to Fabricland or a sewing store back home in Canada to collect some fabric so that I could sew some scrub caps when I came home for the break. So that was my birthday present. They gave me a massive box of fabric, and they borrowed my auntie's scrub cap. So my auntie is a hygienist, so she wears a scrub cap to work. So they borrowed her scrub cap to make a pattern. And then we set up a little shop over Christmas, and my mom and my sister basically sewed scrub caps. I helped where I could. Yeah, so now I have a whole array of scrub caps. So yeah, planning ahead. One of the reasons I wanted to be fun, and unfortunately I couldn't find any like Disney themed or something, is that once we get to fourth year, we have peds, which is pediatric dentistry, and it's kind of fun to be able to have something that your patient might relate to. So if you wear like a Disney scrub cap, they might end up talking about their favorite movie or something. So everything that we do and try can be based on trying to get patients to open up and chat to us. BT, are you sneaking in?
Or thought or whatever. Are you? Oh, you're Eric. And lastly, I also got some funky socks. So most of these are actually from last year. If you didn't notice, Griffith has a uniform. So we have blue scrubs and we always have to wear the exact same uniform. When it comes to trying to personalize, that's when we get the funky socks and the funky scrub cap. So this is what I did to prep for third year before our classes actually began. And I'm looking forward to actually starting and seeing what this next year has to offer.